G'day guys, my name's Nick. I'm one of the creators of Geoflip. With our launch last week, I thought it would be a good time to show everybody how to actually use Geoflip. So let's get into it. Alright, so first thing you want to do obviously is sign up for an account and then log in. So we'll just do that here. When you first log in, you'll have to verify your email, but once you've done that, you get taken straight to the workspace page here. And in here, there's a couple of different tabs. But we're not going to worry about them just yet. We'll just focus on the transform here. So if we zoom in to Perth, which is where I am from, what we're going to do here is have a look at some of the options that we can play with. So what Geoflip is, it's a SaaS platform that allows you to convert, transform and reproject spatial data in your browser, just using this application. And we've also got a pretty good API as well if you're a developer. But let's just go through a real typical use case here. Let's say we've got, an airport that maybe we're managing, or we're doing an impact assessment of, or we need to clear some land and we need to go report that to some sort of government authority. Okay, so let's say we need to clear this bit of land, right? The government authority, at least here in WA, the Department of Water, Department of Mines, that sort of thing, they are going to need a shapefile of the area that we plan to clear. So what we'll do is, we can either upload data that we already have and then go and convert it or reproject it in a coordinate system that the authority needs, or we can just go ahead and digitize it off of the Geoflip platform. So up here we've got the digitization tools, and we're going to use obviously the polygon tool here. So we'll just go and digitize this, and let's say it's just all this area here. We'll double click to finish that polygon off. At any time you can always select a vertice here and then move that around, but I think we're pretty happy with this. So let's say that is the exact clearing area, but we also want to maybe give a bit of buffer room to the workers so that if they step out of that area and clear a little bit outside, we're still going to be okay with the amount of clearing area that we've impacted. So that's where you might want to apply transformation. So we'll go to transformation, and that particular one where we're going to buffer this out by a certain distance is called the buffer tool. You see there's a few tools here. We're going to use the buffer tool. I think we'll just buffer this by say, I think 20 meters is a safe one. That's what we normally do. Buffer it by 20 meters. All right, so this is our area of interest now. This is what we want to go and send to the authorities to show them, okay, this is the area we're going to impact by this land activity. And we're happy now. So let's go to the output tab here, and depending on what they need over here in WA, it tends to be shapefiles. So it's going to be shapefile here. So you can choose GeoPackage or GXF, whatever you need. And then the output CRS, for us here, it's going to be the GDA 2020 MGA zone. Well, GDA 2020 is what they will need. But wherever you're from in your country, you'll usually know what kind of coordinate system you need as an output. The EPSG is a shorthand or a code that represents various coordinate systems. So 4326, for example, is WGS 84. For us here, GDA 2020, say MGA zone 50, for us, it's going to be 7850 over here. Yours will be whatever you need it to be. If you're struggling to find an EPSG code, or you need to know how to figure out what EPSG code you need to use for your area, you can have a look at ArcGIS.io, and I'll just do a little video clip of it here, and you can have a look in there to see all the valid EPSG codes. Okay, so we're going to go to 7850, hit export, and then download. And there you go, right there, we've got our shapefile ready to go. We can see we get a zip file from Geoflip. It's called Geoflip and then timestamp. And then we've got all the files that we need to go and send to that government authority. If you needed to do any further editing there, or you need to send that onwards to your GIS department, for example, to do anything else, you can go and do that as well. But Geoflip has sort of given you the power to go and do a lot of this sort of stuff that you would normally have to go and send across to some specialist to go and do, but you can now do this yourself. Isn't that good? Now, there's heaps of other things that we can do with Geoflip. So if we have a look even just at the transformations, we can do things like erase, clips, unions, We can export to all different formats, including things like DXF. So a common use case might be you're an engineer, and you work with DXFs and DWG files, but the authorities, for example, or somebody else that you're working with needs that in a shapefile or a GeoPackage or something else that'll integrate with all the other data sources that they work with. So you can then use Geoflip to go through the exact same process that we just went through and go and convert your DXF file. Say you go upload your DXF file and then output to whatever format they need, or vice versa. The append tool over here is a tool for another day. We'll go through append, merge, and pipeline another day, but these are essentially to join a whole bunch of files together, so all the formats are supported as well. So you can combine a whole bunch of DXF files together, just shape files together, or even different disparate types. And the merge does a similar thing, but it doesn't retain the schema. And the pipeline is if you are going to apply a whole range of different transformations, but we'll do extra videos on these later. And then the exports page is where you can find a list of all the processing that you're doing that you can go and download, because some of these can take a little bit. So if you're working with big data, it could take a while to run. So that's where that is. Alright, so the other thing I want to show you, if you're a software developer, we do have API key and OAuth that you can generate to go and use the Geoflip API. And if you're interested in doing that, you can do anything that we've done in the workspace using the Geoflip API as well. In fact, that's how we built this workspace, right? So a common use case for you guys is going to be your user's gone and drawn on your map. And so you have this in GeoJSON, but the users often will want that in one of these formats, right? You may or may not want to do transformations, but definitely your users will want to get what they've got in your map as GeoJSON out as a binary file, like a shapefile, GeoPackage, GXF. Now, you could use very expensive spatial software to go and handle that, and then you'll need a specialist, like a GIS consultant or something like that, to go and set that system up for you, or you would have to write that entire backend for like on your own as well. So instead of doing that, why not just call an API? And let me show you the docs here. So we go out here, we go to docs.geoflip.io, and just go back to full screen for you. We have a look at the getting started page here, and just scroll up to the top. So this will walk you through the entire process of doing that very common use case, which is getting GeoJSON to shapefile. And this is the sort of payload structure we've got in Geoflip. Real simple, okay? So what you want to send is you want to send the GeoJSON, so input GeoJSON in your payload, and that's going to be the first thing. And this is just going to be whatever the GeoJSON is, real simple stuff. Define your output. Define your output CRS, so the output coordinate system. The output format files could be shapefile, DXF, or GeoPackage. And then just make the post request to Geoflip. And you're done. It'll come back with a response giving you a shapefile ready to go. This example down here is just all in JavaScript, so you can see a full working example of how you would handle that blob data coming back if you need to, but you handle that blob data how you like to handle blob data. And if you'd like to go a little bit further than that, we've got asynchronous requests as well, which you can read a little bit further on, but essentially what this will do is instead of giving you the blob, it'll give you a URL that you can use to go and do the download instead. So if you prefer to work with it that way, the async capability is also there for you to use. Alright, so I think that's it for now. What we'll do is make smaller videos of all the different aspects of Geoflip and the different use cases that we've sort of run into and what we've developed for. Alright, so why did we create Geoflip? Well, so I have been a GIS consultant and been in the industry for about 14 years. And throughout that time, I've seen spatial technology grow as a necessity in more and more different industries all around Australia, and now more globally as well, just through my company that I work for. And we just saw, well, that the current technology landscape is really good. So you've got your big enterprise GIS tech stacks that take real specialist knowledge to know. But because spatial technology has been expanding into all sorts of different workflows, and all sorts of other new professions need to be able to work with spatial data, I wanted to make an easy platform that was just something that you didn't have to install. You could just use your browser to go and use to create and edit and modify and reproject your spatial data in a really easy way. So that's why we built Geoflip. It's becoming more and more commonplace now for regulatory bodies to require spatial data from proponents in order to do any kind of land management or land activity, right? So over here in WA, we have to send in shape files to government authorities in a specific projection as well, like coordinate system. And doing that, normally you could use something like an open source platform like QGIS, but it really takes a lot of specialist knowledge. And I know because like I train people in how to use GIS technology, right, to use QGIS, and a lot of time all they need to do is be able to create a file off of some reference imagery and then zip it up and send it off. But that's really complex in the current existing desktop applications in GIS. GIS is kind of a very technical sort of profession. So often you'll need a specialist consultant or someone like myself to go and help you do that. But with Geoflip, I'm hoping that people can service that, at least that need for themselves, you know. And for the developer community, I'm also hoping that you then don't need to go and engage with really expensive enterprise GIS software to be able to add transformations or spatial exports to your applications. So that's why we built Geoflip, just to try to make everyone's life a little bit easier in the GIS space. That's all I've got for you guys today. I will be making more Geoflip videos on this channel, just to go through all the specific little use cases that it can help you with, including some more technical ones to help you maybe set up your integration with your application, show you how to make API calls for specific use cases and that sort of thing. So yeah, stick around. And we're just a really small startup here in WA, so you know, if Geoflip is the right tool for the job, or if you're interested, you know, maybe share it with your friends and that sort of thing, and that'll just help us out really a lot. Cool. Thank you very much.